I found the love of my life through sickness. I've always considered myself a bit of an introvert. I guess that's why I found solace in my music, especially after being diagnosed with osteosarcoma. My name is Ethan, I'm 19, and I never thought I'd have to face my own mortality at such a young age. My parents thought it would be a good idea for me to join a support group for young cancer patients, even though I wasn't too keen on the idea. I never imagined that attending this group would change my life forever. That's where I first met Lila. Lila was a bright, vibrant 17-year-old girl, battling leukemia with more grace than I could ever imagine. She had this incredible ability to make everyone around her feel at ease, like everything was going to be okay. And she loved painting just as much as I loved making music. She was always full of life and laughter, despite the battles she was facing. She was like a beacon of light in the dark. The first time we met at the support group, we were all sitting in a circle, sharing our stories and experiences. I was quietly listening to everyone else, unsure if I wanted to share anything about myself. Then, it was Lila's turn to speak. "Hi, everyone. I'm Lila," she said, her voice soft but strong. "I've been battling leukemia for a year now, and I've learned that life is too short not to do what you love. That's why I paint every day. It helps me cope with everything going on." Her words resonated with me, and I couldn't help but feel inspired by her. When it was my turn to speak, I nervously cleared my throat. Hi. I'm Ethan," I said, my voice barely audible. "I was diagnosed with osteosarcoma 6 months ago. I play music. It helps me escape, even if it's just for a little while." Lila looked at me with a warm smile, and I could tell she understood the solace I found in my music. After the support group session, she approached me with a friendly grin. "Hey, Ethan," she said. "I'd love to hear your music sometime. And maybe I can show you some of my paintings. I think we could learn a lot from each other." I hesitated for a moment, but there was something about Lila that made me want to open up to her. "Yeah, that sounds great," I replied, a small smile forming on my lips. Little did I know that this encounter would be the beginning of an incredible journey, a journey filled with love, laughter, and tears. And despite the shadows that cancer cast on our lives, Lila would show me that there was always a light within us, waiting to shine through. As the weeks went by, Lila and I grew closer. Our contrasting personalities seemed to balance each other out. She was the light to my shadows, and I found solace in her company. We bonded over our shared passion for the arts, and our friendship blossomed. One day, as we sat in Lila's room, she showed me some of her most recent paintings. The colors and emotions in each piece were breathtaking. I couldn't help but be in awe of her talent. "Ethan, you should share your music with others. I know it's personal, but the world needs to hear it," Lila said, encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone. I hesitated, feeling my insecurities creep in. "I don't know, Lila. My music is just... it's my escape, you know." She nodded, understanding my concerns. "I know, but sometimes sharing our passions with others can help us heal. Trust me." I took a deep breath, considering her words. "All right, I'll give it a try." In turn, I encouraged Lila to showcase her paintings, hoping that others could find inspiration in her art, just as I had. Our bond grew stronger, and we began spending more time together outside the support group. We'd visit the beach, letting the waves wash away our worries, even if just for a moment. We'd attend concerts, losing ourselves in the melodies that echoed through the night. We'd explore art galleries, marveling at the beauty and talent that surrounded us. During one of our beach visits, I hesitantly took out my guitar, my fingers hovering over the strings. Lila looked at me with her ever-supportive smile. Go ahead, Ethan. Play something for me, she urged. Taking a deep breath, I began to play a song I had written, my emotions pouring into each note. As the music filled the air, I noticed Lila's eyes glistening with unshed tears. That was beautiful, Ethan, she whispered once the last chord faded away. I'm so glad you shared that with me. I felt a warmth spread through my chest as I realized she was right. Sharing my music, my deepest emotions, had brought us even closer. Our days together were filled with laughter and joy, a stark contrast to the pain and uncertainty that cancer brought. And in those moments, we found hope, love, and the strength to keep fighting. As the months went by, Lila and I grew even closer. Our friendship was a beautiful blend of support, understanding, and a shared love for the arts. And somewhere along the way, I realized my feelings for Lila had changed. She was no longer just a friend, she was the person I wanted to share my life with. One evening, as we strolled along the beach hand in hand, I felt a surge of courage. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with vibrant hues of orange and pink. I knew it was time to tell Lila how I felt. Lila, I have to tell you something, I began, my heart pounding in my chest. Over these past few months, you've become so much more than just a friend to me. I think I'm in love with you. Lila stopped walking, her eyes meeting mine. A smile tugged at the corners of her mouth, her cheeks turning a light shade of pink. Ethan, I've been feeling the same way. I was just afraid to say anything. I love you too. From that moment on, we were inseparable. We continued to support each other's dreams, pushing one another to pursue our passions despite our health challenges. We were each other's rock, holding on through the darkest of times. But our happiness was not without its shadows. Lila's health began to deteriorate, and she was admitted to the hospital. My heart ached as I watched her struggle, but I refused to let her face it alone. One day, as I sat by her bedside, Lila took my hand, her voice weak but determined. Ethan, promise me something. No matter what happens, don't ever give up on your music. I promise, I whispered, my voice cracking. But you have to promise me something too. Keep fighting, Lila. We'll get through this together. She nodded, her eyes shining with determination. I promise. We knew the road ahead would be filled with pain and heartache, but we also knew that we had each other. And with that love, we would continue to fight, side by side, against the shadows that threatened to consume us. During one of my visits to the hospital, Lila shared with me her bucket list. At the top of the list was her dream to visit the Louvre in Paris. The thought of seeing her beloved art up close filled her eyes with a spark I hadn't seen in weeks. I've always wanted to go to Paris, Ethan, she said wistfully. To walk through the Louvre and see all the masterpieces I've only ever seen in books. It's been my dream for as long as I can remember. Determined to make her dream a reality, I enlisted the help of our families and the support group to organize a fundraising event. We planned an art auction featuring Lila's paintings, along with a concert where I would perform my music. As the day of the event approached, Lila's excitement was contagious. It gave her strength, and I could see the hope in her eyes. On the night of the fundraiser, the room was filled with love and support from friends, family, and even strangers who had heard our story. The auction and concert were a success, raising enough money for our trip to Paris. Lila was overwhelmed with gratitude, tears streaming down her cheeks as she hugged everyone who had made it possible. Thank you, Ethan, she whispered in my ear. I couldn't have done this without you. As we embarked on our dream journey to Paris, Lila's health remained fragile, but her spirit was stronger than ever. We knew the trip would be challenging, but we also knew it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to make her dream come true. Hand in hand, we explored the city of love, our hearts full of gratitude for the chance to share this unforgettable adventure. The Louvre awaited us, and we couldn't wait to step inside and lose ourselves in the beauty of the art that had brought us together in the first place. Our first day in Paris was a dream come true. We explored the narrow streets and charming cafes, anticipating building as we neared the Louvre. As we entered the museum, Lila's eyes lit up with excitement. Hand in hand, we wandered through the halls, marveling at the masterpieces that surrounded us. As we stood before the Mona Lisa, Lila leaned into me, her voice filled with awe. "I can't believe we're actually here, Ethan. It's more amazing than I ever imagined." I smiled, my heart swelling with love for her. "I'm so glad we could share this experience, Lila. It's a memory I'll cherish forever." Our time at the Louvre deepened our love for art and for each other. However, as the days passed, Lila's health began to decline. Despite the pain and fatigue, she was determined to make the most of our time in Paris. One evening, as we walked along the Seine, Lila looked at me with a mix of sadness and love. "Ethan, I don't know how much time we have left, but I want you to know how much I love you. I'm so grateful for every moment we've spent together." Tears threatened to spill from my eyes as I held her close. "Lila, I love you too. And no matter what happens, I'll always carry your love with me." As the sun began to set on our last evening in Paris, we made our way to the Eiffel Tower. The warm hues of the sunset painted the sky above us, and the twinkling lights of the tower began to illuminate the night. The atmosphere was electric, and I could feel the love in the air as we joined the crowd of couples and families gathered beneath the iconic monument. We found a quiet spot on the Champ de Mars, the lush green park in front of the Eiffel Tower. Lila looked up at the magnificent structure, her eyes reflecting the shimmering lights, and then turned to face me. "Ethan," she began, her voice soft yet filled with emotion. "I want you to know that you've made my life more beautiful than I ever thought possible. You've shown me that love can conquer even the darkest shadows. I don't know what the future holds, but I want to make a promise to you, here beneath the Eiffel Tower." I looked into her eyes, my heart swelling with love for this incredible woman who had changed my life in so many ways. "I promise to cherish every moment we have together, to laugh and to cry with you, and to be by your side no matter what challenges we may face," Lila continued, her voice trembling with emotion. "I will love you for all eternity, Ethan." Tears filled my eyes as I took her hands in mine, feeling the warmth of her love coursing through me. "Lila, you are my light, my reason for living, and the one who has taught me what it means to truly love. I promise to stand by you, to support you, and to love you with all my heart, for all the days of my life and beyond. You are my soulmate, Lila, and I will love you for all eternity." We sealed our promises with a tender kiss, our love transcending time and space beneath the enchanting glow of the Eiffel Tower. In that moment, it felt as though the entire universe had aligned, allowing us to experience a love so deep and powerful that it would remain with us for all eternity. Upon returning home from Paris, Lila's condition worsened rapidly. The cancer had spread, and the doctors informed us that there was nothing more they could do. Lila was put on hospice care, and I knew that our time together was drawing to a close. I stayed by Lila's side, day and night, cherishing every moment we had left together. We spent our days reminiscing about the memories we had created, laughing and crying as we revisited the journey that had brought us to this point. We held hands as we watched our favorite movies and listened to our favorite songs, taking solace in the love that had grown between us. As the days turned into weeks, Lila's strength continued to fade. One evening, as the sun began to set, she looked at me with a gentle smile on her lips. "Ethan, I'm so grateful for the time we've had together. You've made my life more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. I know I'm leaving soon, but I want you to remember that I'll always be with you, in your heart." Tears streamed down my face as I held her frail hand, my voice barely a whisper. "I love you, Lila. You'll always be a part of me." Lila's eyes sparkled with a mixture of love and sadness as she whispered, "I love you too, Ethan. Forever and always." A few days later, Lila passed away peacefully in her sleep. Lila's passing left an indelible mark on my heart. The moment she took her last breath, I felt as though the world had stopped turning, and a cold emptiness enveloped me. My heart ached with an unbearable pain, and I struggled to come to terms with the reality that she was gone. As I sat by her side, holding her lifeless hand, my mind raced with the memories we had shared, the laughter, the tears, the joy, and the pain. I couldn't understand why life had been so cruel, to give us such a beautiful love only to snatch it away so soon. In the silence of the room, I felt the weight of the loss bearing down on me. It was as if my very soul had been cleaved in two, the pain so intense that I could barely breathe. I closed my eyes, trying to hold on to the warmth of her love, the sound of her laughter, and the light in her eyes. As the tears streamed down my face, I realized that, despite the overwhelming grief, I was grateful for the time we had spent together. Lila had taught me what it meant to truly love, and she had shown me that even in the darkest moments, there could be light. I whispered my final goodbye to her, my voice breaking with the weight of my emotions. "Thank you, Lila, for showing me what love is. I promise to carry your light with me always. I love you, now and forever." At that moment, I knew that Lila's love would never truly leave me. It would live on within my heart, guiding me through the darkest days and reminding me of the beauty that once graced my life. And though the pain of her loss would never fully subside, I found solace in the knowledge that our love would endure, transcending time and space to unite us once more. In the depths of my grief, I found solace in the knowledge that Lila's love would continue to guide and inspire me, her light shining bright within the shadows of my heart. In the months following Lila's passing, I found myself struggling to make sense of a world without her. As I tried to navigate the overwhelming grief, I realized that the best way to honor her memory was to share the love and light she had brought into my life with others. And so, I began planning an art exhibition, a tribute to the beautiful soul that had touched my heart and forever changed me. With the help of our families and friends, I gathered Lila's paintings and my own music compositions, curating an exhibition that would showcase our love and our passion for the arts. As I prepared for the event, I poured my heart and soul into each detail, determined to create a space that would reflect Lila's vibrant spirit and our shared journey. On the day of the exhibition, our friends, family, and community members gathered to celebrate Lila's life and legacy. As I stood before the crowd, I took a deep breath and began to speak. Lila was an extraordinary person who taught me the true meaning of love and resilience. Through her art, she captured the beauty and light of the world around her, even in the face of her own darkness. My hope is that by sharing her work, we can raise awareness about cancer and inspire others to pursue their dreams, despite the challenges they may face. The exhibition was a beautiful and moving tribute to Lila's life, her art touching the hearts of everyone who attended. Many people shared their own stories of love, loss, and triumph, and it became clear that Lila's legacy would continue to inspire and encourage others to live their lives with passion and purpose. As the event came to a close, I stood alone in the gallery, surrounded by Lila's paintings and the soft melody of my music playing in the background. In that moment, I felt a profound sense of peace, as though Lila's love and light were still with me, guiding me through the shadows of my grief. In honoring Lila's memory and sharing her art with the world, I had found a way to keep her spirit alive, her light shining brightly within my heart. And as I walked away from the gallery, I knew that no matter what the future held, I would carry Lila's love with me, a beacon of hope and strength in even the darkest of times.